What is up, my valued peeps? Gradient here. The first season of Power Rangers started this month 29 years ago, and while many of the suits that have appeared in the series have been imported from Super Sentai, Power Rangers has sometimes created its own forms, ranging from new Rangers entirely to power-ups that never appeared in their Sentai counterparts. So in today's video, I'll be showing off my top 10 favourite Power Rangers exclusive Ranger forms. While this is my first Power Rangers focused video, it's not my first video featuring Power Rangers. A couple of months ago, I made a video on LGBT representation in Tokusatsu, which had a section on Power Rangers, so go check that out if you wanna. I'll mainly be talking about the design of each form, but I may talk about other aspects of each of them too. It goes without saying that this list will be based on my opinions and may have spoilers for some series of Power Rangers, so if you don't want to be spoiled, I suggest you leave now or watch, but just be aware. Before I start, I should point out that there may be multiple suits in some spots on the list, but only because they're part of a group, and I will say which is my favourite suit in each one. With all that being said, be sure to leave your rankings in the comments below. Like, subscribe and share this video, support me via Patreon for £2 a month to see videos early, and now, let's get started. In 10th place with Titanium Power is the Titanium Ranger from Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue. The first to appear of any of the suits on this list, the Titanium Ranger is the Lightspeed Ranger's 6th Ranger. Compared to most of the other suits on this list, this one's rather simple, being mainly silver with a gold T-shape on the chest, gold shoulders, and the suit's defining feature, the V-shaped visor on the helmet, which is a cool idea and helps to differentiate it from the main team suits. I also really like the Titanium Ranger's morph, with the descending V from above forming the suit before the visor comes down. His sidearm, the titanium laser, looks good too, with the gold, black and silver and the axe and gun modes. The axe mode in particular feels somewhat reminiscent of the sort of axe that firefighters would use, fitting for a weapon in a rescue themed season of Power Rangers. In 9th place, with Animal Spirits Unleashed, are the Jungle Fury Spirit Rangers. One of my favourite ideas for a ranger is one that matches the auxiliary sword, whose actual ranger who controls it is of a different colour. And this is the only time it has ever been done. And for this being the only time I can think of it being done, these are some great suits. The Elephant, Bat and Shark Rangers are some awesome suits, being summoned by the main 3 Rangers and having colour schemes like those of the main 3's Jungle Master modes is rather clever. Since these Rangers are based on Pyshal Masters, it only makes sense for them to be like that really. If I had to pick one particular favourite of these 3, it'd have to be the Bat Ranger. In 8th place, with the power of the ancestors, are the Shogun Rangers from Power Rangers Super Samurai. The standout feature of these forms are the designs of their armour. There's a lot going on and I quite like it all. The shoulder and boots are probably my favourite parts, and the kanji for armour on the chest and the golden kanji for the respective ranger's element on the top of the helmet are both rather clever touches. I do like all 5 of these, though it's a bit of a shame only red, blue and pink were properly used in the show, with yellow and green only briefly appearing as holograms during the transformation. There was also a gold Shogun Ranger that was planned for the toy line but was never released and didn't appear in the show either. If it had appeared, it would probably be my favourite of the Shogun Rangers, but since it didn't, that title goes to red. I also love that of all of the cockpit modes that ever existed, this was the only one that ended up being used outside of the Megazord, in the final battle against Master Xandrid. Very fitting since it does already look very much like a Battlizer. Oh, and one last thing, the Shogun Spear used by Red, despite only appearing once, does look pretty cool, not gonna lie. Activating in 7th place is the Quantum Megabattle armor from Power Rangers Time Force. I had a hard time picking between this one and the Red Battle Warrior and Red Savage Warrior for this spot, but I eventually settled on this one. The Quantum Megabattle armor is definitely the best of the 3 Megabattle armors that appeared in Power Rangers. I quite like both modes of this armor, and I love the addition of the rollerblades. They're rather unique to put on a Ranger suit. The chest and foreleg armor are neat, the retractable visor is an interesting touch, and the blades are really cool, acting as wings when not in use. And their usage in the finisher is rather neat, generating a giant red energy blade from the tip of them to cut down the enemy. In 6th place is the S.P.D. Battlizer's Sonic mode.
So this one isn't exactly a Power Rangers exclusive. It did appear in the Magi Ranger vs Deka Ranger movie as well, but its first appearance was in Power Rangers S.P.D, so that's what matters. Touching on the Battlizer's Cyber mode real quick, yeah, that doesn't look great. Anyways, Sonic mode. I remember I really liked this power up as a kid, as I love high-tech designs like this one. Combining with the team's K9 cannon, Rick, for a power up is such an awesome idea, as the armor Rick creates for the Red Ranger looks so cool, especially on the upper body. The sword for this form is rather neat too, and I particularly like the blade portion of it, with Rick's head at the hilt. Entering the top 5, in 5th place, is the Red Wind Ranger's Tri-Battlized armor, specifically its flight mode from Power Rangers Ninja Storm. I really like the design of this whole thing in general, being based on the Red Ranger's Hawk Zord. The wings, the armor on the chest, shoulders, arms and legs all look really awesome, and I especially love the sword and the Hawk Head gauntlet that also acts as a shield. The Battleizer's finisher is also really cool. Sure, it's just a powerful energy blast, but the setup for it with the flames flowing from the torso into the back is quite a cool visual. In 4th place, fused with the Dragon Fireheart, is the Red Dragon Fire Ranger from Power Rangers Mystic Force. This is both the last Battlizer and last TV show form for this list, and I absolutely love this one. The red, gold, black and blue samurai-like design looks cool as heck, especially the helmet with its crest, along with the chest and shoulder armor. The form looks really awesome in action too. The wings this form can sprout from its back for flight look good too, being identical to Fireheart, which is fitting since this form is a fusion with them. Speaking of the transformation, the visuals of the Red Ranger merging with Fireheart are rather cool honestly. In addition to the wings, this form is also armed with a pair of clubs. The blue one is rather plain, but I like the red one with the dragon head on, and their usage in the finisher is rather neat, spinning at high speed around the enemy while zapping them. I haven't touched upon any morphers up till this point, and I might as well for this one. Sure, it's just a red recolor of the Solaris Knights Solar Cell Morpher for the most part, but it's also got what looks like a red and yellow dragon head or claw at the tip, which I'll admit doesn't look that bad honestly. In 3rd place are the Solar Rangers from the Power Rangers Boom Studios comics. Of these remaining 3 entries for the list, 2 of them are from the comics, and the Solar Rangers have some great designs. I already like the Q Ranger suit's space aesthetic on the visor, and spreading it to the main body of the suit like with Holy Soldier looks really great. The varying designs of the team are rather interesting, but the black and gold highlights on each of them work really well honestly. If I did have any cons about these suits, it'd be that some of their helmets do look rather strange, especially yellows and reds. That being said though, I do really like the Solar Rangers designs, and my favourite one of them is Pink's. That cape and skirting on the sides of the legs makes the suit look so cool. The runner-up in 2nd place is the S.P.D Deka Ranger, again from the Power Rangers Boom Studios comics. There's quite a bit I like about this. The name is derived from Deka, the Greek for 10, making it a very coincidental reference to Power Rangers S.P.D's source footage. I don't know if the latter was intentional, but if so, that's really clever. This also being Sky's version of the Shadow Ranger is rather neat too, as at the time he has access to this, he's the chief commander of Earth's S.P.D branch. It's definitely got the look of a ranger who's also a commander. The suit overall is just great. The red, orange and black design with the cloak is really cool, and the X on the chest to represent his namesake is good too. Now the next bit is rather neat. The former global franchise director for Power Rangers, Jason Bischoff, released a pitch for a concept of the S.P.D Fire Squad. Part of this included a proposed ability for the Deka Ranger, being able to spectrum shift between a primarily red colour scheme and a primarily blue colour scheme, each having different ability sets. These ability sets were never explained and I don't think the proposal ever went anywhere, but I gotta say, Deka Ranger looks just as great in blue as he does in red. Before I move on to the top spot, I have an honourable mention for this list. A form that didn't quite make it into my top 10 for whatever reason, and my honourable mentions are the RPM Paleomax Rangers, Mammoth Ranger, not to be confused with the Sentai Ranger of the same name, T-Rex Ranger, and Triceratops Ranger. If these were an actual part of the list, then I'd place this between the Spirit Rangers and the Shogun Rangers. But because of the status of their existence being exclusive to RPM's toy line, they're only an honourable mention. Similar to the Spirit Rangers, I really like the idea of Rangers based on Zords whose controlling Ranger's colour doesn't match, and the design on these three are rather neat. The jacket looking design on the chest is a neat idea, the weapons are rather unique, and the helmets look great, although the wheels on the front of the boots are a rather weird addition. As for a favourite between these three, the Paleomax Mammoth Ranger would have to be my favourite. Finally, in first place, my favourite Power Rangers exclusive Ranger form are the Power Rangers from the 2017 movie. These suits, these are just plain epic. I've loved these since they were revealed. I said it before and I'll say it again, I love high-tech futuristic designs. And these fit that really well. I mean, they've got a more alien looking aesthetic rather than either high-tech or futuristic, but still. Of course, being from a movie meant there was a higher budget for the suits, and these definitely take advantage of that. With the metallic silver detailing and the glowing blue energy lines throughout each suit, they definitely look like something not of this earth, while still calling back to the original MMPR suits with the helmets and the Dinomorpher looking things embedded in their waists. On the topic of the Morpher, it never actually appeared in the film as its own prop, only being released in the toy line. Though even then it doesn't look that bad. Once again, definitely got that extraterrestrial vibe to it. It really is a shame these suits won't ever see the light of day again, as the 2017 movie never got any sequels and probably never will. To finish off this entry, the Red Ranger is my favourite design of the 5, and overall, the 2017 movie Power Rangers suits are my favourite Power Rangers exclusive Ranger forms. So that was my top 10 Power Rangers exclusive Ranger forms. I hope you all enjoyed that. As I said in the intro, leave y'all's rankings down in the comments below, like, subscribe and share the video, and I'll see y'all valid peeps next time.